Adults of Reddit, what is something you should have mastered by now, but failed to do so? Relationships. Especially getting into one with girl, in my case. I knew 2 or 3 girls that I really liked, and I think at least one of them really liked me, but I was too stupid/scared to start something serious. We just stayed friends and drifted apart with time. Now I really regret not doing something. Spelling. I'm 14 and without autocorrect I still spell like a 11-year-old. I'm so bad at spelling that it's kinda sad. I couldn't spell beautiful until I was like 12. Even now I still have to look up how to spell simple words. I mean, I was never really taught to spell in school, we were just expected to learn it. I don't know if that was just my primary and high school or not though. Eating properly. Generally I don't have time to have breakfast before work, so I just chug down a cup of coffee and hope I'm not too hungry before lunch. Articulating my thoughts/emotions. Either there's a long pause where I try and work out how to say something, or I'm really overly emotional when expressing them. I am in awe of people who can make comments without having to clarify their statements. The paperwork. Dealing with and operating bank accounts, understanding and utilizing credit facilities, communicating with government, knowing the simple, basic facts about yourself that companies and government want to know. My normal responses to things like "what is your yearly income" usually come out to somewhere between "I don't know" and "if there is a number so small that you wouldn't benefit from knowing what it is, you can bet it's that one. It's so small, I never bother counting it." There are thousands of things I know about, from physics to philosophy, from ancient history to futurology, but you test me on the basics of administrating a life, and I will tell you to go speak to someone else. I've tried hard to get to grips with that stuff, but my brain is not wired in such a fashion as to allow me to give a shit, leave alone successfully navigate that entire realm of existence. If it was up to me and there were no consequences to it, I would go off and live in the woods rather than deal with any of it. Probably super simple things around the house. I don't know how to do many things right because my parents never showed me. Or, if they did, it was probably wrong or wouldn't actually let me do it. Example, anytime my dad would show me how to do something, he'd demonstrate for 30 seconds, let me do it for 5 seconds, correct me, and say, "Let me show you," and then proceeded to do the whole thing whatever it was. Thank God for YouTube, I'm still rather handy around the house and prefer to fix all of my issues myself. Remembering just about anything / not losing my jumpers on nights out. Doing my tie. I went to a private school where all the boys had to wear ties, even in fucking summer. And despite being there for like my whole childhood, I never managed to do my tie properly. The weird part about this was that whenever I was taught to do it myself, I'd get it right the first time, but then after that I'd fuck it up. I ended up just leaving my tie tied up for as long as possible and then just having mum do it for me when I needed it tied again. Thank God I go to a public school now. Having a conversation with only one person. I shine in group conversations, but when everyone leaves and I'm left with only one person, I don't know what to say. Keeping my wardrobe tidy. No matter how many times I empty it completely and fold every single piece of clothing neatly and nicely, the next time I'm searching for this one specific shirt, I'll just make a mess again. Let's see. Being able to have a conversation with people. I'm really shy, but at the same time it's a kinda hit or miss situation. Either I like you and wanna chat more after first meeting, or I don't want anything to do with you. It's the latter group that I have problems with, tbh. Having self-confidence is another thing, as I've always been self-conscious and worried how people think of me. Being able to get my feelings out. When I was younger, I had some anger problems. It wasn't too big, but it got to a point where I was told to just hold it in. Now looking back at those words, that's not a good thing, as it's gotten to a point where I can't get my anger out. Having the long fuse is nice, but when I need that adrenaline, I can't get it. And the list goes on for this sheltered child. Literally everything that's considered part of living a normal healthy life, haha. I'm 20 and already on a serious downward spiral. Right now I'm chugging whiskey from the bottle before work. What could go wrong? Touching people, and people touching me. I can do a handshake. A hand on my shoulder can feel like an emotional punch. I hate it, and I just want people to stay at least half a meter away so they're less likely to touch me. If someone I've known for less than an hour touches me, I literally take their hand off of my body and give them the death stare until they stop. Ironic, I can't get enough of feeling my fiancé's hands on me. He's the only person I've tried where it's comfortable and nice, and I just want him to be up close every second of the day. I don't know how to tie a balloon. I didn't know how to do it when I was a kid, haven't encountered a balloon since, but I am sure I will be clueless if a kid hands me one to tie. Oh boy, where do I start? How to do my taxes. Don't know how the stock market works. How to read a measuring tape. How to use a wet Sony properly to sharpen a knife. How to identify legitimate websites from troll or uncredited/discredited ones on the internet. Cooking. I fail at feeling like an adult. I am 43, a dad, an ex-husband, twice, own a house, and make good money in a nice profession, and I still like I am learning the ropes of how to adult. I feel utterly lost sometimes and everything feels overwhelming, just like it did when I was a teenager. Essentially, my mind does not seem to have matured much in the last quarter century, meanwhile my body is starting to show a little wear and tear. Sad face. Laundry. It's like once every 3 weeks when I'm down to my last pair of everything. How? I tell myself to do a load every time I feel the basket and then I just don't. I guess it's not a huge deal to me. Pretty much everything in life. I have not mastered one thing. I'm at best, good at a lot of things and okay at the rest. I'm 36 and just started using wet wipes. How did it take so long to realize how effective those are? Going on dates and romantic relationships in general. I'm 20. Guys chase me. They think I'm a cold bitch, but I just don't know how to properly acknowledge them and be romantic. The best I've ever done went like this. Me, I know you like me. Guy, how long have you known? Me, I'm not stupid. Are you going to ask me out? Guy, asks me out. Me, oh I don't know man, can I go take a nap first? Driving. To be fair though, I have driven go-karts and I actually have no idea what it's called. I drove it once and I can't remember what the person who let me drive it called it. It was a sorta large vehicle you use to traverse rough terrain. I've been looking it up and I for the life of me can't remember what it's called. Anyways, I plan to remedy that soon. I'm gonna save up for a car, and my license, which by the way, I haven't even studied for yet. I'm way behind. Understanding how laundry works. Also as a female, anything related to bath/beauty/makeup. WTF is a body butter versus a lotion? Why do faces have to be one color before you put on makeup? WTF, does it mean that this color will look good/bad on you? How can a color be good/bad for specific people? Having a job I really want to do, and that's actually a career. I've been bumbling around making quite good money actually, yet I'll have to use my savings for retirement and probably work until I'm 75. The problem, my jobs haven't given me any real skills anyone wants to pay me for. The piano. Man, I wish my mom, my cousin, and I learned to play really well. My mom even had a lesson or two. We always had heirloom pianos no one could play, inherited from family members who could. They tried to teach my cousin to play, but she got about as far as my mom. We used to sit there and play chopsticks. Understanding my own feelings. It's an interesting thing. As I get older I find it harder to really acknowledge my own impressions of people and events around me. Kind of feels like I am in the world, and it is on fast forward. Also drinking water. There is always that occasional time where you pour it all over your chest instead of into your mouth. Magical how that can suddenly happen, haha.